morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever and wherever you welcome back to the beta plan, playing Planescape Torment, which may be either the last episode or the one before the last. We shall have to see, but first let's talk to our paranoid incarnation. The man before you resembles you, but his back is hunched as if he is perpetually afraid of being struck. He is watching you warily and he hisses as you approach, his hands clenching as if wanting to strangle you. His arms are horribly gnawed and scarred as if they had been dunked into a stream of acid. His left arm looks like it is holding on by a thread. Literally. Who are you? Know that you will not last long in this place, thief! Spittle flies from the man's mouth and his face twists in a maddening grin. Mazes and regrets and death for all that there are here. What do you mean? You are a thief! The incarnation's hands twist as if wrapped around your neck. I will feel the bones of your neck snap beneath my fingers. Take my body back. You wear my body like a cloak and you shame me. I am no thief. I stole nothing from you. You stole everything. I awoke on the streets of the Ring City and all who saw me knew me. He takes a rasping breath, and all that you had done, all that you had harmed, they were waiting for me, blaming me, hurting me, until I couldn't take the voices anymore. His fingers grasped at the air, and had to make them silent. You were the one who left the trap in the Sensory Stone for me, weren't you? In the dodecahedron journal with the traps? He affixes you with a wary eye. It seems just looking at you is making him uncomfortable. In order for you to lead this well, the Sensory Stone, you're the one who left it for me. He actually didn't answer that at all. It was simply to escape, actually. The smile freezes at the incarnation's face. You lie. Oh, well, let's not continue down that road. I think that might cause harm. What happened to your arm? He glances down at his arm for a moment and looks up at you and smiles. It kept coming off, so I had to stitch it up again. Right. Do you know you can leave this place? I will never tell you. And you will never leave, he smiles. It is quiet here. Peaceful. Right. What do you know of the other incarnations? Thieves. They're all thieves. All of them. And thieves will die. You know what? Let's use the language of the Uyo. Let us speak in private, just the two of us. As you speak the language of the Uyo, the incarnation's eyes widen and it stares at you. After a moment of silence, he replies in the same language. Only I know the language of the Uyo. How do you know it? You are correct. You are the only one who knows the language of the Uyo. So if I know the language of the Uyo, I must be you. He is silent, staring at you. It is these others who are not you, for they do not know the language of the Uyo. He nods slowly. I hear you. This place confuses one's perceptions. We are both you, and now we must become as one. He looks frightened. To your surprise, he reverts to normal speech, and all the inflections to his voice are gone. It is calm, level, and much like your own. I no longer wish to live like this. You no longer have to. All the pain, the worry, and torment of your existence, I will wipe it away. He looks at you, and you watch as the incarnation loses its mad gleam, and his eyes become more like your own. Yes, I will protect you now. You will know peace. And for that is all you've ever wanted, isn't it? The incarnation relaxes at your words, his eyes dimming as he locks gaze with you. There's the faintest of whispers and then he falls to the black stones. With his collapse, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull. Permanently increase of strength and constitution, how nice, and not a lot of experience. And there's a flood of memories and strength and emotions, and you steady yourself, dizzy for a moment, then your vision clears. And you are yourself once more. Farewell. So we also learned that this brown sphere is, well, a Sensory Stone. Examine it. Though its basic appearance is normal enough, the sphere somehow managed to offend the rest of your senses. I can't do anything with it yet. Alright, well, perhaps after we talk to this incarnation, because we don't know even of him at all. And we're quite curious, aren't we? The man before you resembles you, but his face seems calmer somehow. He gives a slight smile as you approach, and he nods as if in approval. Are you alright? Who are you? Have we ever had a name? Or was it just the first of us? The man chuckles softly. Know that I'm your ally in this. I, like these others, have died my death in your mind. This figment is all that remains. But who are you? Ah, the smile fades and he looks at you with some concern. That must be disorienting for you. Let me try and explain. I am one of your incarnations. I was once lost, and now I'm here again. How is that possible? I do know, whatever you touched within the portals has brought pieces of yourself to the surface. He pauses for a moment thinking. One of the others may know the means of how this came to be, but it is beyond me. If you are part of me, there are things I must know. Ask. I had countless lives. Why are there only 3 incarnations here? I do not know. Perhaps we were the 3 pieces that were somehow still present in your mind. Present? How? I do not know for sure, but I would guess that when we die, traces of the former personality may remain in your mind. And I know that sometimes we make ourselves felt. How? When we are about to place yourself in danger, or we're close to realization, for example, I found that I could stir, help, prod you in the right direction. So you were the crawling sensation I kept feeling in the back of my skull? I would be at a loss to describe how it felt to you. But it is possible, yes. There's something else I wish to know. Before you said when we die, traces are left in the mind. That's what caused you all to emerge, right? My understanding may not be complete, but yes, that seems to be the case, and we make ourselves felt in small ways. So it's possible that first of us, the real one of us, before all the incarnations, might still be buried somewhere in my mind? The expression of the incarnation's face flickers for just a moment, but it is like a window and you suddenly realize who it is you're speaking to. Ho-ho! There we go, ladies and gentlemen. My watchers. You were the first of us. The incarnation's eye take on a haunted look and his gaze turns away from yours. I know what you are thinking, but it's not the case. You think that knowing the mind of the first of us will somehow help you here, in this place. It will not. But why? I have so many questions that you can answer. Why did we become immortal? Why? Because we die. Truly die. The incarnation looks up at you and his eyes are like steel. Death's kingdom will not be a paradise. Not for us. If you spoke to these others that were here, know that a fraction of the evil of their lives is but a drop of water compared to the evil of mine. Holy heck, then you must have been... Wow! That life, that one life, even without the thousands of others, is given a seat in the lower planes for eternity. But you seem so much calmer, more well-intended. I became that way, yes, because for me, as the voice takes on a strange echo, it is regret that may change the nature of a man. He sighs, but it was too late. It was already damned. I think actually, my man, that it is suffering that has changed you, and regret is, well, what follows the cause of suffering. But that's my answer. I find that changing my nature was not enough. I needed more time, and I needed more lives, so I came to the greatest of the Grey Sister and asked her for a boon, to try and help me live long enough to rectify all the damage I had done, to make me immortal. And Ravel did. But when she first tested your immortality and killed you, you forgot everything. Everything! It looks broken, and the planes have been dying ever since. The crime is great and the blame is mine. There's so many questions I have for you. Who are you? What was your life like? Who? The incarnation shakes its head, cutting you off. When I became no more, when I emerge with you, you will have the answers you seek. It may take some time to sort them out, but they are there. He smiles ruefully. It is difficult to communicate a life without words. It is difficult to communicate a life with words. And that is true. How can you tell anyone what life you've left, how you always felt, how things flowed? Only if you feel the other person, that's when you can get close. Very well then, we shall become as one. Are you ready? One last thing, just this. The incarnation paused for a moment, searching your features. Before I return to oblivion, there's something I would know. I can spare a little time for this. For you. For us. What do you wish to know? He studies in your eyes, his expression somber. Did you ever live your life? The brief life you've ever had? In the end, was it worth it? I can answer your many things, and I will call up all of them. First thing I can answer is no. I was reborn in a terrible place, and I'm sorry to have lived. 2. It seems so short. What little I experienced I enjoyed and I do not wish to forget it. 3. I've been traveling too much to really appreciate it. Perhaps we will see after this matter has come to a close. 4. Your question is of no matter, I would leave now. 5. This life seems to have only caused suffering for myself and others. I would see it end and the plains allowed peace once more. Don't think that's proper, because on this life we've tried to repair a lot of the damage. I think it actually is number 3 in this case. I think I'm going for, because I have been traveling a lot and I've never been able to appreciate what I have and sit down with the ones I love, like for instance Anna, or had the time to even regret what I did to Dianara. To name but a small few things. And my wisdom increased permanently, and then even a little bit smaller XP. Every incarnation, less. 96,064 and 32. Yeah, increments of one another. He nods, and for a moment you think he's going to say something, but then he collapses, the life running out of him and into yours. As he falls to the black stones, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your skull, making you shiver. And you know the incarnation is no more. Farewell. And Dianora appears. But first, now that we know you were the first, and this bronze sphere was of yours, as you hold the sphere up this time and examine it, you feel the memories of the first of your incarnations stirring within you. But it is not an instant or driving force. It is calm, like the thoughts of a man walking across a great distance to speak to a friend he hasn't seen in ages. As you feel his presence in your mind, you see the sphere in a different light, not as an ugly or hideous, but as something precious, like a newborn child. The sphere is the repository of your last moments before you met Revel on the grey waste and asked the impossible of her. You know why you asked her, and you know that all you need to do is to touch the surface of the sphere with both hands and feel regret, and the stone will open itself to you. Clasp the stone and feel regret. The sphere wrinkles in your hands, the skin of the sphere peeling away into tears and turning into a rain of bronze that encircles you. Each droplet, each fragment that enters you, you feel a new memory stirring, a lost love, a forgotten pain, an ache of loss, and with it comes the great pressure of regret. Regret of careless actions, the regret of suffering, the regret of war, the regret of death, and you feel your mind begin buckling from the pressure. So much all at once, so much damage done to others, so much so an entire fortress may be built from such pain. Try to focus. Keep your center. And suddenly, through the torrent of regrets, you feel the first incarnation again. His hands, invisible and weightless, is upon your shoulder studying you. He doesn't speak, but with his touch you suddenly remember your name. 2 million experience. 2 million experience. And it is such a simple thing. Not at all what you thought it might be, and you feel yourself suddenly comforted. In knowing your name, your true name, you know that you have gained back perhaps the most important part of yourself. In knowing your name, you know yourself, and you know now that there is very little you cannot do. The first incarnation's hand is gone from your shoulder, and he is watching you with a slight smile. And that was my name all along, but if I was... The first incarnation holds his finger to his lips, sighs you. He nods at the symbol of your arm as if indicating you should make use of it. Examine your arm. The symbol of torment seems brittle somehow, as if only barely holding itself to your skin. Unconsciously you reach out and peel it from your arm. It gives way to a slight resistance, like pulling off a scab, and you hold the symbol. You know you can harness its power. It no longer rules you. I no longer wear the symbol. Does that mean? As you halfway through your question, you realize there is a heavy silence within your mind. You can no longer feel the presence of the first incarnation within you.
I feel stronger.
And such a small thing like a name, or a small thing like a loving gesture, can mean the world to a person. Never forget the strength of the little things. We've also leveled ourselves. We have gained 7 character points, 7 bloody levels. Dexterity, up to 18. Right? I don't think it will matter if we make it more. Oh, if we make it to 21. Do we need anything else? We don't need... We could use a bit more charisma bump. Let's use a little more charisma bump, because I think we gain a +2 bonus from... Oh, no, +3 bonus from the ring, so this should help us a ton. Because if we bring it here, and we only have 1 point left for Constitution. No. There it is. Accepting. And with that, we all of a sudden have gained a ton of hit points. Now we're going to gain 2 hit points per level and 4 for the ones that we had previously. Or +3 per level, sorry. And of course all the fighter thing. We have gained a ton of hit points. We have gained now -9 armor class thanks to our dexterity bonus up. And with all new levels, we have become an archmage. Unassailable, unapproachable, undefinable. We are a powerhouse to be reckoned with, and we will sleep one more time in this place. One last time we will take a rest for ourselves before we move on to the final stage of the game. The final battle, the final fight, the final conversation. The time that we can lay our regrets to rest. I know this is a short episode, but I think I will split it in two, because that makes it all the more potent. The message of this episode. And therefore I say I thank you for watching, and remember, great peril yields a great beauty.